The marketplace on Nexus Station buzzed with life. Hundreds of alien species walked through the wide corridors, buying and selling goods from across the galaxy. The air smelled like a mix of strange spices and metal. Lights of every color reflected off the polished floors. 8-year-old Hannah ran through the crowd, laughing. Her small toy spacecraft flew ahead of her on invisible strings of gravity. She dodged between tall aliens with too many legs and short ones covered in fur. Her black hair bounced as she ran. "Hannah, slow down!" her mother Yuna called from behind. But Hannah was too excited. The toy dipped and spun in the air. Hannah reached for the toy. She didn't see the tall figure in front of her. She bumped straight into him. The creature was twice her height. His body looked like it was made of dark blue armor plates. 4 arms folded across his chest. 2 large eyes sat on top of his triangle-shaped head. This was Officer Velkath, a Quellon. The Quellons were one of the oldest and most powerful species in the Galactic Council. Hannah bounced backward and fell on her bottom. "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." Velkath looked down at her. His eyes narrowed. "Disgusting," he said in the common galactic language. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "A human pest touched me?" Hannah's smile faded. She started to stand up. "I didn't mean to." Velkath's arm shot out. The back of his armored hand struck Hannah across the face. The sound echoed through the marketplace. Crack! Hannah flew sideways. She hit the ground hard. Blood ran from her nose and mouth. She didn't move. "Hannah!" Yuna screamed. She ran to her daughter and dropped to her knees. She lifted Hannah's head carefully. The little girl's eyes were open but unfocused. The right side of her face was already swelling. Yuna could see the bone was wrong under the skin. Other shoppers had stopped to watch. A 4-eyed merchant backed away. A floating jellyfish creature turned its lights blue with shock, but nobody moved to help. "My daughter!" Yuna's voice broke. "Someone call medical!" Day pushed through the crowd. He was Hannah's father, a calm man who worked as a diplomat for Earth. But his face was not calm now. He saw his daughter bleeding in his wife's arms. He saw the Quellon officer standing over them. "You hit my child," Day said quietly. His voice was ice. Velkath made a clicking sound. It might have been a laugh. "The creature touched me without permission. In Quellon culture, young must be taught respect. I acted within my rights as an officer. She's 8 years old. Then her parents should teach her better." Velkath turned to walk away. Day took 1 step forward. His hands were shaking. But before he could move, station security arrived. 2 officers, 1 reptilian, 1 that looked like walking crystal, stepped between them. "Sir, please step back," the crystal officer said to Day. "We saw the footage. We'll handle this." "Handle this?" Day looked at them. "He broke my daughter's face." "It's a cultural matter, sir. Officer Velkath has diplomatic protection. The Quellons are senior council members. We must follow proper procedures." Medical drones arrived and lifted Hannah onto a floating stretcher. Yuna went with them, tears streaming down her face. She kept holding Hannah's small hand. Dai watched them go. Then he looked back at Velkath. The Quellon officer had already forgotten about them. He was examining goods at a nearby stall. The crystal security officer touched Day's arm. "Sir, we understand you're upset. The council will investigate. There will be an official apology." "An apology," Day repeated. His voice was flat now, empty. "Yes, sir. It's the best we can do. The Quellons are protected by council law. Your species is new here, only 30 years in galactic society. These things take time to—" Day walked away. The officer kept talking, but Day didn't hear him anymore. He went to the human embassy section of the station. It was small, just 5 rooms. Humans didn't have much power in the galaxy yet. They were the new species, the weak ones, the ones everyone looked down on. Day sat at his desk. He pulled up his communication terminal. His fingers moved across the holographic keys. The message was short, just 2 words. Code family. He sent it directly to Earth, to the military command center in Geneva, to people he hoped he would never need to contact. 3 seconds later, a reply came back. Confirmed. Fleet launching. ETA 48 hours. Day sat back in his chair. He looked at his hands. They had stopped shaking. He thought about Hannah's laugh, about how she loved running through the station, about the sound of that armored hand hitting her face. 48 hours, he whispered to the empty room. In the medical center, Yuna held Hannah's hand. The doctors, a kind 3-armed creature and a floating ball of light, worked carefully. They said the cheekbone was fractured. They said she would heal, but it would take time. They gave her medicine for the pain. Hannah finally opened her eyes. "Mama? I'm here, baby, I'm here. Why did he hit me? I said I was sorry." Yuna had no answer. She just held her daughter and cried. On the other side of the station, Velkath ate his evening meal. He had already forgotten the human child's name. It had been a minor thing, hardly worth remembering. He didn't know that everything was about to change. He didn't know that Earth had just declared war on him personally. And he didn't know what it meant when humans said, "Code family." But he would learn. 47 hours after Day sent his message, the sensors on Nexus Station started screaming. "Multiple faster-than-light signatures detected," the station operator shouted. She was a Vorlesh, with 6 arms that moved across dozens of screens at once. 7 contacts. Military grade. The station commander, a floating creature called Tomesh, turned all his eye stalks toward the main screen. "Identify them." "Sir, they're human vessels." Silence filled the command center. "That's impossible," Tomesh said. "Humans don't have a military fleet. They have 3 science ships and a few patrol boats." "I'm reading Dreadnought-class weapons, sir. These are warships. Big ones." On the screen, 7 ships dropped out of FTL space. They were dark gray, covered in armor plates. Each one was the size of a small moon. They moved into formation around the station like wolves surrounding prey. The largest ship opened a communication channel. A human face appeared on every screen in the station. He was a man in his 50s, with short gray hair and eyes that looked like they had seen too many bad things. He wore a dark blue uniform with silver bars on his chest. "This is Commander Tay of the United Earthship Retribution. We are here for Officer Velkath of the Quellan Empire. You have 6 hours to turn him over to us." Tomesh activated his reply channel. "Commander, this is Station Master Tomesh. With respect, you cannot make demands here. This station is under Galactic Council protection. Officer Velkath has diplomatic immunity." "I wasn't asking permission," Tay said. His voice was calm, too calm. "I was informing you of the timeline. 6 hours." The channel closed. All across Nexus Station, aliens started researching Earth. Most species knew almost nothing about the humans. They were new, unimportant. From some backwater planet on the edge of the galaxy. What they found terrified them. A graven merchant watched a video of Earth's oceans. Waves as tall as buildings crashed against rocks. "They call this weather?" he whispered. "This happens regularly?" A teacher from the planet Sur pulled up gravity readings. 3.7 times standard gravity. No wonder they walk so heavily. Their bones must be like metal. Someone found Earth's history files. Wars. Thousands of them. Humans had fought each other for their entire history. They had built weapons that could destroy their own planet. And then they had looked at those weapons and said, "No more," and gone to space instead. But the thing that scared the aliens most was a simple medical file. "Human children heal from broken bones in 6 to 8 weeks, a Quellan doctor read out loud. His 4 hands trembled. "Adult Quellans take 6 months for the same injury. How is that possible?" His assistant pulled up more files. "Sir, look at this. Human children on Earth regularly survive falls, crashes, animal attacks. They're built to take damage. Their whole species is built to take damage. Inside the medical center, Dr. Kyung examined Hana. He was a human doctor who had come to the station 3 years ago. He was small for a human, with kind eyes and gentle hands. "How is she?" Yuna asked. "The fracture is clean," Kyung said. "See here?" He showed them the scan. "The bone is already starting to knit back together. In 2 weeks, she'll barely feel it. In 6 weeks, it will be like it never happened." Day stood by the window, looking out at the 7 warships. "They came," he said quietly. "Of course they came," Kyung said. "Did you think they wouldn't?" Outside, aliens were starting to panic. The human ships hadn't moved. They just sat there, waiting. The 6-hour countdown played on every screen in the station. 5 hours left. 4 hours. 3. The Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. 30 species joined the video call. Counselor Thresh, a high-ranking Quelon, spoke first. "This is an outrage! The humans cannot threaten us! We are council members! They are barely civilized!" A small mammalian counselor named Pip raised a paw. "With respect, Counselor Thresh, I have reviewed the incident. Officer Velkath struck a human child without provocation. The child touched him. She is 8 years old. 8. Pip's fur stood up. "I have young, too. If someone struck my child—" He didn't finish. He didn't need to. Thresh waved his arms dismissively. "You're being emotional. This is about law, about order. If we give in to human threats, every species will think they can make demands with warships." The council voted. 23 species voted to protect Velkath. 5 voted to turn him over. 2 abstained. They sent their decision to Commander Tay. 1 hour left. Tay read the message on the bridge of the Retribution. His tactical officer, Jiho, stood next to him. "Sir?" Jiho asked. They said no. Tay closed the message. "Prep the boarding team. Tell Captain Mira she's go for insertion." "Sir." The council said they'll consider it an act of war. Tay looked at his officer. "Jiho, do you have children?" "Yes, sir. 2 daughters." "If someone hurt them, what would you do?" Jiho didn't answer. He didn't need to. "That's what I thought," Tai said. "Prep the team." In the station's Quellan embassy, Velkath was drinking with other officers. They laughed about the human threats. 7 ships, one officer said. "Do they think that scares us? We have hundreds." "The humans are like children themselves," another said. "They throw tantrums when they don't get their way." Velkath clicked his mandibles together. "I should have hit the creature harder. Maybe then they would have learned respect." They all laughed. The 6-hour timer hit 0. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alarms started screaming. "Unauthorized shuttle approaching the station," the operator yelled. "They're not responding to hails." Tamesh watched the screen. A small human shuttle was coming in fast. "Lock down all docking ports. Don't let them—" The shuttle didn't go to a docking port. It punched straight through the outer wall of the embassy sector. Metal screamed. Air rushed out. Emergency shields activated. 12 humans stepped out of the shuttle. They wore light armor, no weapons. Station law prohibited weapons, but they didn't need weapons. Captain Mira stood at the front. She was a woman with scars on her face and arms that looked like they could bend steel. "Take us to the Quellan embassy," she said to the shocked security guard. You can't," the guard stammered. Mira started walking. The guard didn't try to stop her. They were coming for Velkath, and nothing in the galaxy was going to stop them. Captain Mira and her 11 soldiers walked through the station corridors. Aliens pressed themselves against the walls to let them pass. The humans moved like water, smooth, fast, unstoppable. They reached the Quellan embassy sector. A massive blast door blocked the entrance. It was made of reinforced titanium, designed to stop missiles. Mira didn't slow down. She grabbed the edge of the door with both hands. Her muscles tensed. She pulled. The metal groaned. Alarms blared. Every alien watching on the security cameras couldn't believe what they were seeing. The blast door tore free from its frame. Mira threw it aside. It crashed to the floor with a sound like thunder. She stepped through the opening. "Impossible," Tomesh whispered from the command center. "That door weighs 4 tons." Inside the embassy, Quillan guards scrambled to respond. 8 of them formed a line, their energy weapons raised. "Stop!" the lead guard shouted. "You are violating council law. Leave now or we will fire." Mira kept walking. "I said stop!" The guards fired. 8 energy bolts hit Mira and the humans behind her. The blue light was blinding. When the light faded, the humans were still walking. Their armor was scorched. One man had a burn on his arm. He looked at it, frowned, and kept moving. What are they?" a guard whispered. Mira reached the first guard. He tried to hit her with his rifle. The weapon broke against her shoulder. She grabbed him by his chest armor and lifted him off the ground with one hand. "Where is Velkath?" she asked. The guard's 4 arms flailed. "3rd floor, command suite, please don't—" Mira set him down and walked past him. She didn't hurt him. She didn't need to. The humans climbed the stairs. More guards tried to stop them. One guard threw a punch at a human soldier named Hyun. Hyun didn't block. He took the hit to his chest. The guard's arm broke on impact. He screamed and fell back. "Sorry," Hyun said, and kept walking. On the 3rd floor, Velkath finally understood what was happening. He tried to run to the secure panic room, but a human soldier named Wu Jin was already there. He had climbed the outside of the building. "Going somewhere?" Wu Jin asked. Velkath turned and ran the other way. He crashed into Mira. She stood in the hallway like a wall. "Officer Velkath," she said, "you're coming with us." "You can't do this. I have immunity. The council will—" "The council had 6 hours to do the right thing," Mira said. "Time's up." Velkath pulled a small plasma pistol from his uniform. He pointed it at Mira's face. His hand was shaking. "I will shoot." "Go ahead." Velkath fired. The plasma bolt hit Mira in the shoulder. It burned through her armor and into flesh. The smell of burned meat filled the air. Mira looked at the wound. Then she looked at Velkath. She smiled, but her eyes were cold. "My turn." She moved faster than Velkath could see. One moment she was 3 steps away. The next, her hand was around his throat. She lifted him into the air. "You hit a child," Mira said quietly. "An 8-year-old girl who weighs maybe 60 pounds. You used an armored hand to strike her face." She squeezed slightly. "Want to know what that feels like? Can't breathe?" Good. But she didn't squeeze harder. She just held him there, letting him feel helpless, letting him feel afraid. The other human soldiers secured the area. They found 17 Quellan guards. 15 had broken bones from trying to fight. 2 had fainted from shock. 0 humans were seriously injured. The entire operation took 4 minutes. Mira carried Velkath through the embassy, through the torn blast door, and back to her shuttle. Aliens watched in silence. Some recorded videos. The footage would spread across the galaxy in hours. Back on the Retribution, Commander Tay received Mira's report. "Target secured, sir. 17 enemy casualties. Our casualties: 1 burn wound, 3 bruises, 1 scraped knee." "The scraped knee?" Tay asked. "Dongwu tripped on the stairs, sir." Tay allowed himself a small smile. "Bring Velkath to the brig. Standard gravity." "Sir, standard Earth gravity or standard galactic gravity?" "Earth standard." "Yes, sir." Within minutes, the Galactic Council was in an emergency session. All 30 species joined the call. This time, they weren't talking about Velkath's diplomatic immunity. They were talking about the humans who had just ripped apart a fortified embassy. "This is an act of war!" Counselor Thresh shouted. His voice was shrill. "They assaulted our embassy! Injured our guards!" Ambassador Sora appeared on the screen. She was a middle-aged human woman with gray hair tied back in a simple bun. She wore a plain suit. She looked like someone's grandmother. "Counselor Thresh," she said calmly, "your officer struck a human child. You refused to address it, so we addressed it ourselves. You cannot take the law into your own hands." "Why not? You did." Sora's voice was still calm, still polite, but everyone listening felt ice in their veins. "Your officer used Quelon law to justify hurting Hana, so we used human law to respond. Fair is fair." A small counselor named Nyx spoke up. He was a bird-like creature with bright feathers. "Ambassador Sora, with respect, your soldiers tore through a blast door. They shrugged off energy weapons. How did they do that?" "They're human," Sora said simply. "We evolved on a planet with high gravity and dangerous predators. Our bones are dense, our muscles are strong, our pain tolerance is high. We have to be tough, or we don't survive childhood." She let that sink in. "You asked how they did it," she continued. "That's the wrong question. The right question is, why did they do it?" "Why?" Nyx asked. "Because someone hurt one of our children." Sora's eyes swept across all the counselors. "And there are no politics in that. No diplomacy, no treaties. You hurt a human child, and we will cross the galaxy to make you answer for it. Every time, without exception." Thresh made an angry clicking sound. "This is barbaric, uncivilized. You're proving you don't belong in the council." "Maybe," Sora agreed. "Or maybe we're showing you what you've forgotten." "What's that supposed to mean?" Sora leaned closer to the camera. "Tell me, counselor, how many of you have children? How many of you right now would do less than we did if someone hurt your young?" The council chamber went silent. A mammalian counselor looked down. A crystal creature's lights dimmed. Even Thresh's arms lowered slightly. "That's what I thought," Sora said. "We're not monsters. We're parents. The difference is, we remember what that means." She ended the call. In his cell on the Retribution, Velkath lay on the floor. Earth's gravity crushed down on him. His exoskeleton creaked. He couldn't stand. He could barely breathe. For the first time in his life, he felt weak. For the first time, he understood what he had done to Hana, and he was very, very afraid. The trial began 3 days later. Commander Tay broadcasted across the entire Galactic Council network. Every species could watch. They had to watch. The courtroom was a simple room on the Retribution. No fancy decorations, just walls, a table, and chairs. Velkath sat in a special chair designed to help him handle Earth's gravity. Even with help, his body shook from the strain. Tay stood at the front. Behind him, a screen showed the security footage from the marketplace. The video played on loop, Hana running, Hana bumping into Velkath, Hana saying sorry, then the hit. Over and over, the sound of armored hand against small face. The sight of a child flying through the air. Blood. Tears. "This is what we're here to discuss," Tay said. "Not politics, not diplomacy, this." Velkath's lawyer, a tall gray alien named Vex, stood up. "Commander Tay, my client acted within the bounds of Quelon law. Physical correction of disrespectful young is permitted in our culture. He had no way of knowing human customs would be different." He had no way of knowing it's wrong to hit a child? A Quelon child of similar age would have barely felt such contact. Our young have natural armor. He didn't realize how fragile human children are. Tay pulled up another video. This one showed human children playing on Earth. A boy fell off climbing equipment and hit the ground hard. He cried, got up, and kept playing. A girl crashed her bicycle and scraped her knee. She washed it off and rode again. "Human children are not fragile," Tay said. "They break bones and heal them for fun. They fall out of trees. They learn to walk by falling down 100 times. Our children are tough because they have to be. He changed the video again. Now it showed Hana in the medical center, her face swollen and purple. But they're still children, and your client used military-grade armor to strike her face with full force. He knew exactly what he was doing. My client is a decorated officer. Your client is a bully who hit a child because she bumped into him. Ty's voice was sharp now, and because he thought humans were too weak to fight back. The trial continued for 2 hours. Witnesses spoke. Medical experts explained Hana's injuries. Station security showed their reports. The Galactic Council tried to intervene. They sent messages demanding Velkath's release. They threatened sanctions. They called the trial illegal. Ambassador Sora responded to each message the same way. The trial will continue. Finally, Tay called Day to speak. Hana's father walked to the front of the room. He looked tired. He had dark circles under his eyes. But when he spoke, his voice was clear. My daughter is 8 years old, Day said. She likes drawing pictures of spaceships. She wants to be a xenobiologist like her mother. She makes friends with everyone she meets. She doesn't understand why some people are mean. He paused. 3 days ago, she asked me if all aliens hate humans. She's afraid to go outside now. She has nightmares about armored hands. Dea looked at Velkath. You didn't just break her cheekbone. You broke her trust. You made her afraid of the galaxy she loves. Velkath looked away. I don't want money, Day continued. I don't want apologies. I want my daughter to feel safe again. And I want to know that no other child, human or alien, will be hurt like this. He sat down. Tay stood again. This trial is not about revenge. It's about consequences. In human law, assaulting a child carries a minimum sentence of 15 years in a labor colony. Officer Velkath will serve that sentence under human jurisdiction. You can't do that, Vex shouted. He'll die in Earth gravity. We've already thought of that, Tay said. He pulled up a star chart. There's a mining colony on Kepler 442b. The gravity is 2.3 times galactic standard. High enough to be punishment, low enough to survive. He looked at Velkath. You will work there for 15 years. No rank, no privileges. You'll mine ore alongside criminals and debtors. You'll learn what it means to be powerless, to be weak, to be afraid. This is barbaric. No, Tay said. Barbaric was hitting an 8-year-old child. This is justice. The council exploded with protests. Dozens of species called it too harsh, too cruel, illegal. Then a small voice came over the speakers. I have a question. Everyone turned to their screens. It was Counselor Pip, the small mammalian creature. His fur was matted like he hadn't slept in days. Commander Tay, Pip said, if my child was hurt like yours, what would you do? We would help you get justice, Counselor. Even though I'm not human? Especially because you're not human, Tay said. We didn't come to the stars to only protect our own children. We came to make things better for all children. Pip was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke again. I vote to support the human verdict. A ripple went through the council. Another voice spoke up. Counselor Nix, the bird creature. I also vote to support it. More voices joined. One by one, species that had young of their own spoke up. Not all of them, but enough. Counselor Thresh watched his support crumble. You're all fools, siding with these Deathworld primitives. Maybe we are, Pip said quietly, but I have 3 little ones at home, and if someone hurt them... He couldn't finish. The vote passed, 19 to 11. The humans could proceed with their sentence. Velkath was taken from the courtroom. He would leave for Kepler 442b the next day. But Tay wasn't done. He addressed the council one final time. We want to propose something, he said. New protections for all young across all species. Laws that protect children from violence no matter what culture they come from. Real laws. with real enforcement. "You want us to change our entire legal system?" Thresh demanded. "We want you to put children first," Tay said. "Is that too much to ask?" The council went silent again. "We'll call them the Hana Protocols," Ambassador Sora added. She appeared on the screen next to Tay. "Named after my granddaughter, but meant for every child in the galaxy." Over the next week, the council debated the proposal. Arguments flew. Some species said it interfered with their culture. Others said it was long overdue. In the end, the Hana Protocols passed with 26 votes in favor. For the first time in galactic history, children had universal protection. In the medical center on Nexus Station, Dr. Kyung showed Hana the news on his datapad. "See? They named it after you." Hana touched her healing face. The swelling had gone down. The bone was knitting back together. "Does that mean other kids won't get hurt?" "That's exactly what it means." "Good," Hana said. She smiled for the first time in days. "That's really good." Outside, the human warships prepared to leave. They had accomplished what they came for. Justice was served, and the galaxy learned an important lesson about humans. They remember, they protect, and they never ever give up on their children. 3 months later, Nexus Station looked different. Human security officers walked the corridors alongside alien guards. They wore dark blue uniforms with a small Earth patch on the shoulder. Most species gave them respectful nods when they passed. Crime on the station had dropped by 70%. Thieves didn't steal anymore. Bullies didn't push people around. Everyone was very, very polite. Nobody wanted to face a species that traveled across the galaxy to punish one person for hitting one child. Station Master Tomash reviewed the security reports in his office. His assistant, a young Vorlesh named Kira, brought him his morning drink. "The human officers stopped another fight in Sector 7, Kira said. "A Dravian tried to start trouble with a Quellan trader. The human, Officer Siak, I think, just stood between them and crossed his arms. The Dravian apologized and left." "They didn't even have to do anything?" "No, sir. They just had to be there." Tomash made a sound that might have been a sigh. "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad they're here." In the marketplace, Hana ran through the crowd again. This time, Yuna didn't worry. 2 human security officers, Yunji and Jiwon, kept watch from a distance. Not because Hana needed bodyguards, but because the station felt safer now. Hana laughed as her toy ship flew through the air. She dodged around a tall insectoid alien. This time, she didn't bump into anyone. But then she saw something that made her stop. A small alien child was crying. He was purple and fuzzy with big eyes that leaked green tears. His parent, a larger version of him, was trying to comfort him. "What's wrong?" Hana asked. The parent looked nervous. "It's nothing, small human, just a toy he lost." "Oh." Hana looked around. She spotted a small metal ball under a vendor's table. She crawled under and got it. "Is this it?" The child's eyes went wide. He took the ball and hugged it. "Thank you." "You're welcome." Hana smiled. The parent looked at her for a long moment. I want to apologize." "For what?" 3 months ago when you were hurt. I saw it happen. I didn't help. I was afraid to get involved." The alien's fur drooped. "I'm sorry." Hana thought about it. "It's okay." "You're helping now, right? By being nice?" "Yes, always." "Then we're friends." Hana held out her hand. The alien child touched it with his small paw. Across the galaxy, an interview was going viral. A human soldier named Jin sat in a simple chair talking to a reporter. The reporter was a floating orb of light named Luma. "You're called Deathworlders now," Luma said. "How does that feel?" Jin shrugged. He was a big man with scars on his arms. "It's accurate, I guess. Earth is deadly. We had to adapt or die, so we adapted." But you're not just physically strong. The galaxy is learning that humans are different in other ways, too. How so? You form bonds, Luma said. Pack bonds, some species call them. You protect each other fiercely. Why? Jin leaned back. On Earth, we have a saying. It takes a village to raise a child. It means everyone looks out for everyone's kids. Because children are the future. They're precious. You protect them no matter what. Even if they're not your children? Especially if they're not my children, Jin's voice was firm. Hana isn't my daughter, but she's human. And that means she's family. All humans are family. That's how we survived. Luma pulsed thoughtfully. What would you say to species who think humans are dangerous? We are dangerous, Jin said simply. Make no mistake about that. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We have weapons that can destroy planets. We have soldiers who can tear through reinforced doors. He paused. But we're only dangerous to people who hurt others, especially children. You want to be safe from humans? Easy. Don't hurt kids, don't hurt the weak, don't be cruel. That's all we ask. And if someone does hurt a child? Jin's expression went cold. Then we'll travel for 3 years if we have to. We'll cross the entire galaxy. We always collect our debts. Always. The interview was watched by billions of aliens. It was translated into hundreds of languages. And the message was clear. Humans were not monsters. But they were not to be trifled with either. On Kepler 442b, Velkath worked in the mines. The gravity pressed down on him constantly. His exoskeleton had stress fractures. His forearms ached. Every day was pain. But he was alive. The humans could have killed him. Instead, they had taught him what it felt like to be weak, to be vulnerable, to wake up every day afraid, just like Hana had felt. In his small cell at night, Velkath thought about the human child. He wondered if she still had nightmares. He wondered if she would ever forgive him. He had 11 more years to think about it. Back on Nexus Station, the first Hana Protocol trial took place. A Bregan merchant had slapped a sword child for breaking a vase. Under the old laws, it would have been dismissed. Different cultures, different rules. But now there were new rules. The merchant was fined heavily and required to take classes on child development. The sword child's family received compensation, and everyone on the station learned, you don't hurt children, not anymore. Ambassador Sora watched the trial results from her office. She smiled. Her assistant, a young human woman named Rena, brought her tea. You did it, Ambassador. You changed the galaxy. No, Sora said. Hana changed the galaxy. She just happened to bump into the wrong person at the right time. Do you think it will last? The protocols? Sora looked out her window at the station. She saw dozens of species walking together. She saw children playing without fear. She saw a safer galaxy than the one that existed 3 months ago. Yes, she said, it will last. Because now everyone knows what happens when you hurt a child. They know humans will come. And they know we don't bluff. In the park section of the station, Hana drew pictures with her new alien friends. There was Kip, the purple fuzzy child, and Z, a crystalline girl who sparkled in the light, and Nam, a small reptilian boy who loved spaceships as much as Hana did. They drew pictures of their families, of their favorite foods, of the stars they wanted to visit someday. Day and Yuna watched from a bench nearby. Yuna held Day's hand. She's okay, Yuna whispered. She's really okay. She's better than okay, Day said. She's making the galaxy better just by being herself. A shadow fell over them. They looked up. Commander Tay stood there in his formal uniform. Commander, Day stood and saluted. At ease, Tay said. He looked at Hana. How is she? Healed, happy, making friends. Good. Tay was quiet for a moment. I came to say goodbye. The Retribution is leaving tomorrow, but 3 other Earth ships will stay here to help with security. Thank you, Yuna said. For everything. Don't thank me. Thank Hana. She reminded us what we're fighting for. Tay started to walk away, then stopped. Oh, and tell her that every human in the fleet drew pictures for her. We stuck them all over the ship's walls. She's our hero. He left. Day watched him go. Then he looked at his daughter, laughing with her friends. Code family, he whispered. What? Yuna asked. That's what I sent. When Velkath hurt her, code family, it means every human drops everything to protect one of ours. Did you know they'd send warships? No. I just knew they'd come. Day smiled. Because that's what family does. The sun, the artificial one in the station's sky, began to set. Children were called home for dinner. Hana hugged her friends goodbye and ran to her parents. Mama, Papa, look what I drew. She held up a picture. It showed humans and aliens holding hands under a starry sky. It's beautiful, baby, Yuna said. It's the galaxy, Hana explained. The way it should be. Where everyone is nice to everyone. That's a good dream, Day said. It's not a dream, Hana said seriously. It's real now. The nice humans made it real. She didn't understand about the warships or the trials or the new laws. She just knew that things were better now, that she felt safe again, and maybe that was all that mattered. The galaxy had learned what it meant when you hurt a human child. They had learned about Deathworlders and their fierce protection. They had learned about consequences, but more importantly, they had learned about hope, about change, about standing up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. The humans hadn't come to conquer. They had come to teach. And the lesson was simple. Protect the children. All of them. Always. The end.